do what we call action, self-defense type shooting, which is the type of shooting you really want to get to learn. You'll find there's a big difference between target shooting and self-defense shooting. It's totally different. So I would recommend everybody get involved in this type of shooting. We would like to get everybody here involved in the club. If you're interested, let me know. First year's membership is only $50. After that's only $20 a year, so it's a good club to belong to. As a member, you get all free training, and that alone is worth quite a bit of money. We have experienced instructors. We have Dennis here. He's trained police officers in the past. He's a very qualified instructor. We have Charlie over here. We have myself. Give myself the applause. Thank you. I got to get my applause sign up. And we got Dan.
Rodney Dangerfield over there.
Now we are a members-only club, but members can invite guests.
I thought you
guest one time. After one time, you have to become a member of the club. That's according to our insurance policy. Okay. And we stress safety, even though we're a private club and we have a little bit more freedom than a regular commercial range. We stress safety. Safety is paramount. And no one is allowed to touch a firearm unless they're the person who's actually shooting. When you do shoot, you make sure the gun is always pointed down range. And as you're moving, your finger is always off the trigger. Never move with your finger on the trigger in case you fall, hit your cough, go off together and get hurt. That's pretty much it. When you're back here, the only thing you can do with your gun is you can load the magazine. And that's it. No touching of any firearms. Right? With that, I'm going to try to sell you something right now before I do anything else. We do have t-shirts over here. Very nice t-shirts are made on $10 a piece. And very nice. And we're having a club raffle for a AR-15 and one case of 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Tickets are $10 a piece or 3 for $25. Okay.
And 1,000 rounds of ammo is worth about $1,000.
The ammo is worth about $500 a piece alone. So it's a good deal. With that, I'll turn everything over to them.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Dennis. Hopefully everyone can get their name tag on because some of the folks were telling me that they've seen some of the members here a number of times now, but they don't know their name, and they should know it by now, so they're too embarrassed to ask. So let's have name tags, and that makes it a lot easier. As John was saying, that the safety is the most important thing. While this is a tactical defensive shooting, I want to make sure that the safety is the #1 priority. Do not try to shoot too fast. There's a temptation because you see some people shooting faster. You cannot miss fast enough. When you start shooting, you'll realize what that means when you start trying to shoot a little faster. You can't miss fast enough when you're in a real-life situation. So safety is rule #1. Try to be accurate as #2. And #3 is speed, in that order. Safety, accuracy, then speed. I want to go just through a couple of safety rules that John already referred to. Is rule #1, always beware of your barrel direction that it's downrange. So barrel direction, rule #1. Beware of it, especially if you're reloading. Not that we're really going to have reloading here, but we may have reloading. So remember barrel direction not only when you're shooting, but when you're moving, because we will have some movement, and when you're reloading. Because what often happens, if that's downrange and people are reloading, they reload like this. Well, the barrel direction is that way. That's not safe if that is a designated downrange. So barrel direction, rule #1. Rule #2, barrel direction. Does anyone want to take a guess on rule #3?
The direction of the barrel.
Thank you. Barrel direction, guys. The next one is finger off the trigger unless you're shooting. Finger off the trigger. Anyone want to take a guess on rule #5?
Finger off the trigger.
Finger off the trigger. So you don't do this. You go bang, 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 and then you go, wow, check that out. You laugh. When people shoot and then they start moving, and the gun goes like this.
Yeah.
Because if you're shooting and now you're moving, the barrel stays downrange when you're moving. All right?
Now, if you have a holster, you can keep your firearm in the holster unloaded. Okay?
How many people do not have a holster? Okay. Everyone else, I'd like to have your gun holstered. I'll have either John, Charlie, or myself check your gun before you have it holstered. There is to be no rounds in the chamber and no magazine inside the gun. So before we get started, I would like to have everyone go up to John or Charlie or myself, and before they start touching the gun, if you hold on just for a second, before you holster it, you can have the gun holstered with the slide. Freeze! Drop the weapon! Drop the weapon!
Now, isn't that geared more for a police officer saying, please drop the weapon? As a civilian, if somebody's coming at you in a parking lot, you wouldn't really say, please drop the weapon. You're just going to shoot the guy.
No, actually, the purpose of the exercise to actually shout an order has nothing to do with what the words are, but it is trying to get used to saying something, because what's going to happen is that your adrenaline is going to start rushing through your body, and you get a really, really high-pitched voice, or no sound will come out at all because you're going to be so scared. So really the purpose of the exercise is to be able to shoot and shout, not necessarily at the same time, but be able to shout a command with an authoritative voice. The words that you're saying don't have the don't have the same significance as your ability to shout an order to a perp.